Eric Jackson was born in 1950 in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Growing up, Eric's parents owned a small newsstand selling papers to tourists visiting from across the U.S. This inspired Eric to get a full-time job working nights at the local newspaper. He did this throughout his high school years until he left to attend Hendrix College in Conway, Arkansas.
I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted to do when I went to college. I met my wife early on. We started dating all the way through college. She got a very nice offer from SMU to do her graduate work, and I had a very nice offer from Vanderbilt to do mine in economics. She would go to SMU, get her graduate degree. We would get married after she got her graduate degree, and we would eventually go back to Vanderbilt. I played tennis back then, and I met a gentleman on the tennis courts, and his name was W.T. Bishop. Learned later he was the general manager at Oaklawn. He said, "What would you think about coming to work for us?" I was trying to get to graduate school. I told him I didn't know anything about horse racing, and he said, "Everybody starts out at that exact point."
Eric graduated from Hendrix College with a degree in economics, and in 1978, he was hired at Oaklawn as Director of Operations. At the time, Oaklawn was a small but mighty track. They saw continued growth into the 80s until Texas and Oklahoma legalized wagering on horse races.
In the first year that Oklahoma got racing, we lost a third of our business. There were tracks going out of business. There was a big headline in the statewide newspaper, "Ghost Lawn." We did come up with a way to compete. We developed the technology to simulcast races. The question is it legal to transmit races across state lines and merge the wagering pools? There was a lawyer in Little Rock named Herschel Friday. Mr. Friday at the Friday firm said, "Well, do you see where it says you can't?" There was a handshake between Charles Sella, who owned Oaklawn, and Dick Duchossois, who owned Arlington Park, and said, "Let's try it." No contracts, just a handshake. And now it's the mainstay of American racing. It's the backbone of our entire racing system in America.
In 1987, Eric Jackson began serving as general manager after the passing of W.T. Bishop. Several years later, surrounding states legalized gambling. Almost overnight, Oaklawn was surrounded with more casinos than any state in America, causing the business to face another round of challenges.
I began wondering, is there a way that we could create an electronic wagering format that looks a little bit like a slot machine and sounds a little bit like a slot machine? I invited 3 technology companies to come to Arkansas, and they said, "We think you might have something here." And that was the beginning of a product called Instant Racing. And on January 1, 2000, we put the system into play, and that was really the start of the resurgence of Oaklawn. Once we saw that Instant Racing was working, we realized we were going to have to do some bricks and mortar. When we announced our hotel, Louis Sella said to Governor Hutchinson, "I'm going to try to create something that Arkansas doesn't have, and at a high enough level that it will help attract even more affluent people to Arkansas."
In 2005, the city of Hot Springs voted in favor of electronic games of skill. Its success led to the establishment of the Oaklawn Foundation. This foundation has contributed over $15 million to the community of Hot Springs.
Fast forward to 2018, the Quapaw tribe of Oklahoma said they were going to try to pass an amendment to allow full casinos. We went from electronic games of skill to what we have today at Oaklawn, which is the full racing and gaming resort. It speaks to the determination of the Sella family that we were able to fight through the 90s and get to where we are today. When you almost lose something that's important to Arkansas and you get it back, you have a greater appreciation for the product that you have now and a greater respect for what it means. I mean, everything we've ever done, we always sat down with the horsemen, we always sat down with the Racing Commission and said, if this works and if you'll let us do it, we will use it to enhance racing.
With a purse structure of $60 million in the 2024 racing season, Eric Jackson's contributions have ensured Oaklawn will live on as one of the top racing venues in the country. When Eric took over as Senior Vice President in 2017, he created Oaklawn University, a program that educates incoming employees on institutional knowledge and Oaklawn's rich history. Additionally, he teaches the importance of tourism for the economy to the State Chamber of Commerce each year.
If I could go back and speak to the young man who went to work at Oaklawn back then, I think I would say, pal, you don't believe how fortunate you are. You're going to get to work with some of the best people there are in Arkansas. And you put all of those people at the table, there isn't any room for I. It's we. It has to be we. My wife, Linda. Just this past August, we had our 50th wedding anniversary. Linda sort of became the first lady of Oaklawn. I think she's given out more trophies than anybody in the history of Oaklawn. She has been as much a part of my success and my history at Oaklawn as anyone. I wouldn't be here without her. When you look at the names of the people in the Arkansas Business Hall of Fame, it is Arkansas. It's how Arkansas works and how Arkansas thrives. Yeah, it's a tremendous honor to be included in that list.